So here we go. It's Market Watch Monday, ladies and gentlemen, where we go over all of the moves in the market over the last week, except I don't know how to flip, and this is not financial advice, okay? This is not financial advice, and I don't know how to flip. Just want to make that very clear. Now, for those that missed last week's Market Watch Mondays, let me give you a quick explanation. This is Flipping Old School. One of my favorite YouTubers. I watch every single one of his videos, and he does an update once a month about the state of the RuneScape economy, goes over some of the biggest movers in the market over the last month, talks about prospective flips, what happened, why it happened. My favorite videos he does, but he just doesn't do them often enough. So I'm going to try and fill in the gap, except I'm shit and the editing is going to be way worse, okay? And just to be clear, everyone thought I was flaming Mike and Phil last week. I edit these ones. That's why the editing is going to be shit. The Flipping Hedge Fund, for those that don't know, I allowed my community to invest in my hedge fund, and over the course of a month, I'll be flipping with all of that money. And the profits that we make go back to the community. They get the percentage of what they invested. We allowed everyone to invest whatever they want this time. No limits. And we got a huge amount of GP. We ended up with a total investment of 11,364 million. And that's a lot. That's a crazy number. But the issue with this is we had some people giving 1 bill and some people giving 10 mil, which means when we eventually profit whatever amount, the person that invested 10 mil is going to get such a small percentage of that profit. And it seems it's not unfair, but it feels unfair. You know what I mean? So next time we do the Flipping Hedge Fund, which will be 2 weeks from now, mark your calendars, 2 weeks from now, on the fourth ever Market Watch Monday is when we'll be doing the next month of Flipping Hedge Fund. We'll be putting a cap on the amount people can invest, so it feels more fair. But we got 11.36 bill invested, and as of the end of this week, we are now. Last week we ended positive 20 mil on the Flipping Hedge Fund. This week we ended positive 124, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's right. We are up 124 million GP off that 11 bill investment. So that's about 1%. About 1%. So that's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. We take that. It's been a good week. That's exactly what we're at right now. I don't have any flips in the bag at the moment. So we are profit 124 mil. It's been a good week. I've just seen someone say minimum 500 mil buy-in. No, it will be a maximum of like 50, just so everyone can get involved. And it's not like the rich get richer. It's like everyone gets richer. You know what I mean? That's what we want. We want the community to get richer as a collective. So 124 mil profit. This week, we had some big winners and some big losers. And thankfully, ChatGPT has managed to put them all in a nice little order for us here. Biggest winners of the week. We made 29 mil on Soul Reaper axes. Big moves on Soul Reaper axes. Yesterday, I was out for the day because it was Sunday. I take Sundays off. Unfortunately, that meant I couldn't sit by my computer and make sure I made the most money I could on Soul Reaper axes. But if I was sat by my computer, we would have profited another 25 mil. So unfortunately, I wasn't there, but positive 30. And then Zarite crossbows were 28, Inquisitor's maces were 23. If you remember last week, we actually lost quite a bit of money on Inquisitor's maces. So we managed to crawl back from the hole with Inquisitor's maces. But big ones there. Biggest losers. This week's biggest loser was less than the biggest winner, which is great. Ancestral Robe Tops got absolutely cooked on those for another 17 mil. Harmonized Orbs. Last week, we lost 30 mil on those, and this week, we lost 13 mil on those. And you know what that means, ladies and gents? Harmonized Orbs are officially on my blacklist. We will never flip them again. 2 weeks in a row, we lost money on them. Bye-bye, Harmonized Orb. This week, the Torva Plate Body was in our biggest loser, 6.5 mil loss. Last week, Torva Plate Body was our biggest winner. So not the greatest turnaround here from the Silver Plate body. But, you know, one thing you got to learn about flipping, ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to get into flipping yourself, is that not every flip is going to be a winner. They can't all be winners. Sometime you're going to get a loser. And minus 17 mil is okay when you have positive 29s like this. And you just got to take the good with the bad, you know? Time to get on to some of the biggest market movers this week. Ladies and gentlemen, we had the release of the Giants bosses this week. And when you have a release of new bosses, some items tend to go crazy. One of the biggest movers this week was also one of our biggest losers. The Harmonized Orb. It came out. Now, the bosses have elemental weaknesses. One is made of fire and one is made of ice. So they are weak to fire spells and they're weak to water spells. What a lot of people didn't know is in the blog, when they released it, they literally wrote in the blog that the Harmonized Orb, the spells, the elemental weaknesses won't be effective. Because they have high magic defense. So the Harmonized Orb, after they came out, took a big dip, unfortunately. And that is where I got caught up this week. I forgot about the Harmonized Orb and it not working. So I tried to flip it the night after the update. Silly boy. Now, the other weapons or the other items that go crazy around updates are the items that are actually useful. And you don't particularly know what items are useful until after the boss comes out. One of those items is the Zarai crossbow. People were using this for a special attack weapon at the bosses. And as you can see, over the last few days, the Zarai crossbow has gone absolutely nuclear. Come up from 325 to 345 mil at its peak because people were using it to speed run the boss. People were going on Twitch and seeing Mulgoat Kirby getting 35-second kills with a ZCB and thinking, damn, I could do that too. And that's caused a crazy rise. Now, the other thing that has gone crazy this week is the Burning Claws. The Burning Claws are a great spec weapon. I believe they're just a little bit more consistent than the Dragon Claws. Don't quote me on that. But as far as I'm aware, the Burning Claws are slightly more consistent as a spec weapon than the Dragon Claws, and they only cost 30% spec. So when a new boss comes out that you melee, that's not the Burning Claws graph. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. That's not the Burning Claws graph. That's the Burning Claws graph. So, when the boss came out, the Burning Claws had a meteoric rise. Come up from 17.5 all the way up to 19 mil, which is a big move. But of course, after a little while, everything comes back down. It's slowly moving back down towards that 17 mil mark now. But the Burning Claw is a great spec weapon. Around updates, if it's a melee boss, you should expect to see the Burning Claws go up a little bit. So, if you're looking to flip around updates, which personally I don't do, I think flipping around updates is a little too speculative. It's not my kind of bag, but Burning Claws are always a decent choice. Now, these are a mid-game boss. You've already seen the slide. You already saw what I went past. Are a mid-game boss, and what is a mid-game player's best friend? I'll tell you. It's the Boa Ferrodinin. It's just the classic mid-game player item. They just get on to the Bofa. That's what everyone wants to get. It's so crazy everywhere. It's crazy accurate. It's crazy powerful. So when a mid-game boss comes out that is relatively weak to range, what's the first thing that's going to go crazy? The Bofa. It came up from 155 mil before the update to 175 mil. 182 it peaked at after the update, which is absolutely crazy. But yeah, mid-game players, best friend, the Boa Ferrodinin. You can almost be positive that when there's an update, the Bofa will go up. It's always almost always a really good flip to get on is the Bofa. So that's the update from the burning bosses. What are they called? The Giants bosses? I don't know. They're pretty fun. I actually enjoyed them. But if you guys have seen my video of the Twin Flame staff on release day, you would have already seen this. But if you didn't, I hit the lick of the century. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I bought a Ice Elemental staff crown for 50 mil immediately on release day. I bought a Fire Element staff crown for 50 mil immediately on release day. And then literally insta-sold the staff for 148 mil. 50 mil profit in 1 second just from making the first staff in the game. You got to work smarter, not harder, boys. You got to work smarter, not harder. That's all I got to say about that one. The Twin Flame staff, obviously the new item in the game. As you can see, I did sell one for 148 mil, and it was so quick after the update that I did that it didn't even register. The highest price that registered was 80 mil. And as you can see, very, very, very quickly, I was lucky to do it as quickly as I did. It got down to 7.5 mil pretty quickly over the last few days, and it is sitting around 7 mil at the moment. And I'm pretty sure it's going to stick around there, if not lower, for the rest of eternity. It's a good staff. It's a good staff, but it is it's definitely a mid-game item. I got a lot of comments on my video crying because I compared this staff to the Shadow. What the fuck else you want me to compare it to? It's a new staff, and I'm comparing it to the best one in the game. I don't get it, man. Anyway, some other crazy stuff from this week. Last week, we went over the Armageddon Weapon Scroll. If you guys remember, the Armageddon Weapon Scroll was an item released with Deadman mode. They recently did points in the most recent Deadman mode, and you could buy Armageddon Weapon Scrolls with those points. I made a crazy flip on them. I think I profited 4.5 bill or something like that. And then last week, we noticed that they've gone down from 110 to 84 mil because people are selling them off in anticipation of a new Deadman mode announcement. This week, they've gone back up from 84 mil to 100. There's just so little of these in the game right now that they're fluctuating insanely wildly. So, public service announcement, ladies and gents. If you haven't spent your Deadman mode points, if you played Deadman mode last time and you haven't spent your points, spend them. You could have 100 mil sat at Nigel in Lumbridge. Go spend those points. And just to be clear, I've talked about the Armageddon Weapon Scroll a lot. I have no horse in this race. I don't have any. I already sold mine off. This is a graph of all my flips. You can see Armageddon Weapon Scrolls bought for 52, sold for 99, bought for 95, sold for 99, bought for 52, sold for 81, bought for 75, sold for 95, bought for 52, sold for 95. Okay? I'm out. I have zero. Okay? Not a single Armageddon Weapon Scroll. I'm just going over these because they're interesting. For anyone that is also interested, total profit from flipping in the last 4 months, 6.7 bill. And just the overnight flips, almost 1 billion GP in those. Humble flex. Just saying. Yeah, just saying. But yeah, Armageddon Weapon Scrolls back up to 100 mil, which is big. That's they're coming up. And I don't know what we're going to see them go to. I think maybe we could see them even go up to 150 before the next Deadman mode is announced. But as soon as the next Deadman mode is announced, boom, they're going to shoot to the fucking floor, bro. They're gone. Last week, we went over Sunfire Splinters. And we're going to go over them again this week because they got down to 540 GP and then went back up to 600 which tells me Jagex is actually banning bots. I can't believe it. I can't believe I'm saying those words out loud. Jagex is actually banning bots. They brought the Sunfire Splinter price down from 600 to 520 within a few days. And then they actually got banned. The price come back up to 600 GP. Keep an eye on Sunfire Splinters, guys. Like I said last week, if you ever see a Sunfire Splinter hit 400, 450 GP, buy, bro. Because they will come back up when the bots get banned. The only reason they would go down is if the bots don't get banned, or maybe something crazy happens in Varlamore Part 3. Last item we're going to go over today in terms of items that I'm actively looking at and flipping are the Enhanced Crystal Teleport Seed. I had a look at the Enhanced Crystal Teleport Seed graph thanks to a tip-off. Someone hit my DMs. I had a look at these, I want to say 2 months ago, before leagues, just before leagues, 3 months ago maybe. And I noticed they were at their floor. Not the literal floor. They could still go down lower, but they were pretty low. This is the graph. They were down at about 1.6 mil. And just in the last week or so, they have shot back up to 1.9. And that was a nice little flip for me, boys. I can't lie. I had 275 Enhanced Crystal Teleport seats. I couldn't get my hands on any more at 1.6, unfortunately. But managed to flip 275 of those for a 300k profit plus 82 mil. And that's all I've got in terms of the money I've made this week. Just a plus 82 on my personal account. And I had to hold on to those for 3 months. A lot of flipping is long term. Once you've got a lot of money, you kind of got to buy a lot of items and then just sit there and wait. And we waited and we got there and they got up to 1.9. I think they might still go up a little bit more, but if they do, I won't be sad. You don't get upset if you get out a little bit too early. You get happy because you made a profit. And that's the important part. Now, on to the biggest news of the week, ladies and gentlemen. Holy shit, I can't believe I'm actually reporting this. I can't believe this actually happened. But Varlamore Part 3 rewards. The blog came out. They said, oh, we're going to do a veil. We're going to put the new magic upgrade as a cape, but it's going to be tradable. The community said, what? Wow. Why would you make a tradable best in slot cape? Oh, wow. And Jagex went, whoa, holy shit, man. Fuck, I didn't realize you guys were babies. All right, well, how about we make it a necklace instead? And the community said, oh, wow, that's shit. Crazy. And then one of the most insane things of the year happened. This guy made a video. This guy made a video telling everyone to vote no to Varlamore Part 3. And it actually worked. I can't believe it, guys. It actually worked. They came out with a blog post and they said, you know what? We're going to postpone the rewards. We're going to postpone the rewards. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I didn't watch this video. I got 2 minutes in. I had to turn it off. No disrespect and no monkey, but there's nothing I want to see less than people crying about RuneScape. All right? He's a nice guy. He makes great content, but I don't want to hear people whinging about the game. You know what I mean? So I couldn't get through it. But apparently, he was just saying the rewards are shit and they could be better. And Jagex agreed. They came out with a blog post. They said, all right, we're going to take some time. We're going to think up some new ideas. In the meantime, here's 3 things you can vote for on this poll. And then we'll figure out the rest of the rewards later. And this has had a crazy effect on the market. Those that will remember, the Eldritch necklace was supposed to come out. This was a necklace that joined with the occult necklace and the new demonic mark from the new boss, and it consumes the occult necklace, which made occults go up. What happens when they say, actually, we're not going to do that anymore? You guessed it, the occult necklace dipped. I'll tell you what, guys. We're going to play a little game. All right? In the Twitch chat, you guys can just say right now, if you're watching this on YouTube, comment down below. At what point, what day, do you think it was February 4th, February 5th, February 6th, February 7th, February 8th, February 9th, or February 10th? What day do you think the blog post came out? I'll give you guys a second. If you said February 6th, you would be correct. The second the blog post comes out, dip. Look how crazy that is, man. Last week, we saw the occult go from 600K to 900K. And this week, we saw the occult necklace go from 900K to 600K. I think they need to allow us to start shorting the Grand Exchange. They need to allow us to short items on the Grand Exchange. I want to bet that the occult's going to go down. Let me flip on that. It wasn't just the occult, though, guys. They also put a halt to the Avernic Treads. These were some boots that joined the Eternal boots, the Pegasian boots, and the Primordial boots all together and gave a +5 melee strength, a +1 range strength, and +1 magic damage, which was crazy for the Pegasian boots, if you remember. And of course, if they're going to put a halt on that, what happens? That's right. The Primordial boots come down from 29 mil to 26 mil this week. What else? That's right. The Pegasian boots come down from 42 mil to 37 mil this week. And the biggest hit of all to the Eternal boots, which have gone from 10 mil down to 8 mil. And look at that. On February the 6th, bang, big movement down. The market has gone absolutely crazy for these updates this week. And honestly, I don't know what's going to happen. All I know is the next time a blog post comes out and they're toying with whatever items they want to toy with, I'm buying heaps of them. As soon as the update comes out, I'm stocking up, dude. 100%. But crazy, crazy movements in the market this week, all thanks to one guy. I can't believe it. One video. That's all it takes. That's all it takes, bro. He's bringing down the system. He's destroying Jagex from the outside. It's crazy. That's the biggest movements in the market this week. But, of course, we have one last thing to go over, ladies and gents. That's the big three. We're going to be going over these every single week because they're the biggest items in the game and they're the most interesting to look at. The Scythe, the Twisted Bow, and the Tumican Shadow this week. With the release of the new Giants bosses, we saw the Scythe be the most useful weapon out of the 3 mega rares. And what happened? Oh, you betcha. 5 days ago when the boss came out, 1.62 mil. Today, 1.68 mil. The Scythe has gained 60 million GP in value this week with a slow rise over the course of the last week. Crazy. Big, big movement. And I would like to remind you guys, this is what the Scythe graph looked like for the past 5 years. Not 2 years ago, the Scythe was worth 300 mil. What? 300 mil. It's taken 2 years for the Scythe to go from the cheapest mega rare to the most expensive, because every single boss that has come out in the last 2 years, the Scythe has been useful at. Which means the other two haven't been getting that much love. So you can see the Twisted Bow this week was not useful at the bosses. And what happens? Well, people start selling their Twisted Bows to buy Scythes. You can see 1.6 bill, the Twisted Bow, came from at the start of this week, and it's come down to 1.58. So 20 mil in value lost for the Twisted Bow this week, and also the Tumican Shadow. This was around release day. I guess the Shadow was a little good on release. I don't know what happened here, but immediately people realized, well, Scythe is best, and they start selling off their Shadows. They want to buy the Scythes. The Shadow has managed to retain its value. 1.21 bill. this week, and then ends the week on 1.21 bill. But you can see a big spike and a big dip around that update day. And that is the big three this week. The Scythe is currently worth 100 mil more than the Twisted Bow. The Scythe is the most expensive mega rare by 100 mil now. The Scythe said, fuck the big three, it's just big me. You know what I'm saying? The big three is now just Scythe, Scythe, Scythe. Get down to Tob, ladies and gentlemen. Get down to Tob. That's the place to be. Now, the last slide, ladies and gentlemen, of course, is always going to be my investments. If you're watching this on YouTube, unfortunately, this is where the video ends. Because if I put what I'm invested in onto YouTube, people call me out for market manipulation. So if you want to see what I'm invested in, you got to get down to the Twitch streams on Monday for Market Watch Monday.